This video is on writing proportions and how I like to teach proportions, which is a key word that you'll hear me use a lot during this unit, is twins. You have to set stuff up in proportions to where they're like each other. So if we look at this first one, we have markers and we have cost. So right here, I'm going to put markers over cost. All right, and I always start with a line equals a line. Now we know that 9 markers cost $11.50. How much would 7 markers cost? Now the markers are on top, so we're going to put 7 here, and then we do not know the cost. Because on this side, we want them set up as markers over cost as well. All right, and you remember in the previous video, I circled the two that were opposite diagonal of each other. And this should be X, not the dollar sign. So here we have 9 times X, which is 9X equals, and 1150 times 7 is $80.50. And remember, we want to isolate that variable, and the number beside a variable means to multiply. To undo multiplication, we do division. So we're going to divide both sides by 9. And when we do that, 9 divided by 9 is 1, so that cancels out. So X equals, and then if you round that amount up to $1, is $8.94. All right, let's take a look at the next one. This next one, we have apples. So we have 7 apples over the cost. And if some of y'all struggle with setting it up, I want you to do this right here. You got line equals line, and then over here, put apples over cost. All right, here we have 7 apples cost $5. So 7 apples cost $5. How many apples, that means we don't know how many apples, can I buy with $8? All right, so here we got the diagonal going this way. And then so 5 times X is 5X. And 8 times 7 is 56. And we want to isolate that variable by itself, so we're going to divide by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so we're left with X equals, and 56 divided by 5 is 11.2. And then our last example, a cake recipe for 5 people requires 2 eggs. How many eggs do we need for a 15-person cake? So I'm going to set up my units as people over eggs. So I'm going to go line equals line, and over here I'm going to put people over eggs. So back up here, a cake recipe for 5 people requires 2 eggs. So a cake recipe for 5 people with 2 eggs. How many eggs? That means we don't know how many eggs we have. And then we need it for 15-person cake. So 15 people. All right, let's do that. And then 5 times X is 5X. And 2 times 15 is 30. Isolate that variable by dividing by 5. And then x equals 6. Any questions, ask.